She wanna fuck, but I told her it's over. I went and hopped right in the Benz. Why you gon' hide me when you wanna love me? I told her we better as friends. If they wanna spite me and come with the rifles, I'm shooting whoever they send. I take a jet to the spot, bitch, I'm flying first class and it's double your rent. I'm chilling with 50, man, they give me 50, I give them 100%. Look, I never started if I wanna finish it, guess I'm just loving the ends. They try to bargain, but I'm not a target, look, I'm not on fucking defense. I'ma go make it and I'ma go spend it, look, I don't need someone to lend.
She's not breathing. What happened?
Andir? Who or what the hell is Andir? Oh, it says Andor? Well, then why the hell is a Star Wars show being set on a planet from Star Trek?
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
These are not lightsabers.
And that is not a sin, but here we are.
In case you confuse this with any words that would make sense to me.
It's pretty obvious to anyone with half a brain cell that Morlana 1 is the name of the planet. As for Preox, that's understandable to not know, but it also says corporate zone right here, so that really should make sense to you.
Rox Gran, you don't have to put on the blue lights. Those days are over, you don't have to sell your body to a Jedi Knight.
Discount Jeremy tries to sing in a video cliche.
Also, I honestly have no idea what these individuals are selling, but I simultaneously want all and none of it.
Discount Jeremy sings something he likes and doesn't like cliche.
Excuse me. We were here first.
Yeah, we've been waiting, he just got here.
I know you want me to hate these two Imperial red shirts, so why are you starting by having them make so much sense? There is an order to lines! An order, I say!
Your argument sounds reasonable when you misrepresent the scene, but when you actually take the full context into account, it falls apart. The Imperials should have been served first. That's correct. But the reason they're such assholes is because they verbally attacked Kassa. It has nothing to do with the fact that they brought the issue up to the employee. It's the fact that they harassed an, as far as they know, innocent customer.
There was a girl from Canary.
Whose brother was so very sorry.
Skip.
What are you? Seriously? Boyfriend, husband?
I'm looking for my sister.
No judgment here, my friend, but Game of Thrones really has that corner of the genre covered.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Well, what's her name?
Nobody here gives their real name.
Yes, but did you not think he might want it anyway to help with the search? Otherwise, she's assuming that Andor doesn't know his own sister's name, which is possible, but still a weird assumption.
What the hell? What are you talking about? You're just pulling this whole thing out of your ass. Obviously, she didn't supply him with a name because the Canary employee used a fake name, which is exactly what she said. I seriously have no idea where you're getting this whole thing about him not knowing his sister's name. That has nothing to do with anything.
How did these guys catch up to him? We know they were looking to get served before him, so are they done already? Even if their photon torpedoes fired a bit early, Andor would have been long gone. And unless I'm overestimating the power of star boners, there's no way they left early.
They clearly just left without being served. It's a very obvious explanation that's perfectly reasonable. Also, Discount Jeremy says boner.
Oh, the pocket.
If nothing else, at least this interaction confirms that a long time ago definitely predates the book and all of the oldest tricks it contains.
Everything wrong with Andor, ladies and gentlemen. Kassa uses a trick to get out of a jam.
This man has died from a slight reverse headbutt to the side of the face. I'm not even saying that's impossible. I'm just saying it's lame.
Sinning something you just admitted was possible? That's stupid. Oh, and don't give me some shit about how the sin is for it being lame, cause that's kind of the point. Kassa didn't mean to kill the guy. It was a freak accident.
Damn it, Star Wars. Andor accidentally kills the thug from the brothel, and now I guess he'll feel obligated to leave this guy alive because he's the hero or whatever. But this will just cause him all sorts of trouble when he could totally get away with Oh, shit. He straight up murdered him. But now who do I root for?
Discount Jeremy sins something he should like cliche. Also, this is something you did in one of your House of the Dragon videos where you sin the show for having gray characters. Why do you want everything to be black and white? That's just a horrible opinion.
I'm not trying to kink shame, but waiting this long to shock the Carillion hound currently peeing on you.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Disney? You got some Wall-E in my Star Wars.
Yet another pop culture reference.
Kassa! Kassa!
We interrupt your prequel series to a prequel movie to watch this prequel sequence disguised as a flashback.
And none of that is a sin, so now I'm wondering why you added a sin for it. This is very confusing.
Also, through this entire flashback exposition, the subtitles only read Speaks Canary. I'm fine with not translating everything into English. I think that can be a useful story device, but why not put the actual Canary words on the screen? Part of the beauty of including another language is the rhythms and sounds it makes, and to deprive those who need subtitles from experiencing the visual cues for the actual words and sounds is honestly a dick move.
You know what? I actually kind of agree with this sin. Well done, DJ. Well done.
But where were you?
It's not important.
If it's not important, well, why not tell me?
B2EMO would be the goodest droid ever at TVSins.
Discount Jeremy sins something he likes cliche.
Also, apparently, the slightly sad and malfunctioning droid with a stammer was only called B2EMO because available to buy online just seemed a little too on the nose.
So it's a mistake for a show to include a cool and interesting new character? That doesn't seem right.
Don't tell anybody you saw me. Don't tell anybody you know where I am.
That's 2 lies.
That's technically 0 lies. That's just not talking. Like, for instance, if I just never said anything about my BB-8 Ahsoka erotic time travel fanfiction, I'm not lying to you. I'm just...
Discount Jeremy has a boner for Ahsoka. And based on original Jeremy's past, I'm gonna say he most likely has a boner for young Ahsoka.
I mean, sure, it's beige and overcrowded, but it's no Tatooine. Where's my sand planet at?
Complains when a show takes place on Tatooine, complains when a show doesn't take place on Tatooine. That's what we call a contradiction, boys and girls.
Walking through a crowded thoroughfare that contains many different alien species for all the sometime in a Star Wars property cliche.
And you still don't know what the word cliche means.
Then you remembered you still had half a bottle of Nog stashed at home.
Making up your own story and selecting Nog as the alcoholic beverage of your own free will.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Have you modified your uniform?
Perhaps slightly.
Misunderstanding the literal definition of the word uniform.
Hey, that's 2 in a row.
This case appears to bear all the hallmarks of what I like to describe as regrettable misadventure.
Title of my sex tape?
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy sex tape joke that isn't funny cliche.
They're in a brothel, which we're not supposed to have, the expensive one, which they shouldn't be able to afford, drinking Rivnog, which we're not supposed to allow.
Rupert Vansittart is delightful in this scene. This show may actually be good, and that's making my job even more difficult. So take this sin for making me work harder than a normal show.
This sin right here demonstrates something very important. The Sins writers are actually trying to genuinely criticize the shows they sin. It's not all a joke, which completely undermines their claim that their channel is satire. Also, Discount Jeremy sins something he likes cliche. Also, that fake-ass laugh at the beginning of the sin.
Fingering someone's lifter without explicit consent.
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy sexual joke that isn't funny cliche.
Also, in the name of Jabba's jiggly bits, what the f*** is he playing at? Andor is extremely fortunate that this stunt didn't end in an immediate trip to the day since last accident board.
This is one of Discount Jeremy's favorite running gags, completely ignoring characterization. Unfortunately, it's not funny, so it is a sin.
What happened to you?
I fell.
On what? A jealous husband?
I have something to sell.
Don't we all?
Having a character speak solely in witty retorts.
Pointing yet more things out on the screen.
That's not how it works. I bundle things before I make contact.
Jeez, birth control in a galaxy far, far away sounds very complicated.
Unfunny joke is unfunny.
Are we betting on the Babani run tomorrow?
Where does this guy come from? Scottuine? That's right. I'm sitting the accents again. You know why? Because it makes no sense that there's a dialect this specific that exists a long, long time ago, and that the ancestors of that dialect all just happen to land in the same northern territory of a tiny island on a tiny planet that is in a galaxy far, far away. That's why.
Oh my god, this dude kills me. Guys, if he's sinning one character for having a real-world accent, he's going to have to sin every character for having a real-world accent because they're all played by people from the real world. Seriously, Aaron, do you think that everyone else in this show is actually from the Star Wars universe? I've got some very sad news for you, bro. The Star Wars universe doesn't actually exist. This is definitely the stupidest sin in this entire video, and it deserves 10 sins.
Are you?
What?
Well, it looks like it's turned into something more than work.
What the hell is he basing that on? That all seemed very businesslike. I mean, unless I've completely misinterpreted what a Wobani run was referring to.
This is something that I honestly can understand is difficult to pick up on, but he says that the guy wants to know if we are in on it, implying that they're in a relationship because they would be placing the bet together.
Just promise he knows nothing about any of this.
He'd do anything for me.
Yeah, well, I'd do anything for a well-cooked cheeseburger, but that doesn't mean that the cows should just trust me with their secret plans for galactic rebellion. I may be mixing several bad metaphors there.
Giving the show a sin for your own shitty metaphor.
Good to see you, Tim.
Star Wars pretends adding an extra M to Tim makes it more galactic. It does not.
Everything wrong with Kassa, ladies and gentlemen. A character is named Tim.
What is that?
A dot on the map that is abstract and confusing enough so that you can just conjure up a plot-moving clue and the audience will go along with it?
Aaron, you're watching a show set in a super advanced society. Obviously, the show is telling us that this map and the dots on it are readable for these guys because they were trained to understand it.
Since when do you take orders from Nurture?
Don't answer that.
He said all I needed to do was stand here.
I want to vetch the Reluctant Bounty Hunter series based on this line delivery alone.
That fake-ass laugh.
On the TVSins convenience scale, I'd rate this passerby carrying a tall pile of boxes that they can't see over somewhere below a comically large pane of glass being transported to a dumpster, but above a grand piano falling from a crane.
Coincidences happen every day in real life, meaning that your constant sins for them are kind of stupid.
What are we looking for?
Bending Magitech filter.
You know, it kind of puts the whole spy thing at risk when you have visible reactions to the code words and such. Sure, the show needs us to know something's up, but the characters' lives are on the line if anyone notices anything out of the ordinary. So these reactions are poor spycraft at best and suicidal at worst.
Hold on, what? What do you mean, code words? That wasn't a code name, it's just the actual name of the product. As for this being poor spycraft, everybody here is in on it, so their reactions don't matter.
This is the murder of 2 Primor employees!
Wow, Cyril's discount Ramsey Boltoning so hard here, I would strongly suggest that anyone who enjoys their genitalia attached to their person should stop arguing with him.
And a 4th pop culture reference in just one video.
What in the name of Chop is going on out there?
I just spent 20 minutes trying to figure out what deity Chob was in the Star Wars universe, and as far as I can tell, they're just making up names at this point with no actual reference.
Aaron, how do you propose this fictional series with fictional religions introduces its deities? Besides, Star Wars introduces new stuff to us all the time in order to keep expanding the universe, so this sin is just really stupid.
Glad we're ending on this Canary Lord of the Flies backstory emotional beat without any context for where all the adults went. Sure, it might be explained later, but I demand answers now. Where's Mama Cass?
Admits that it might be explained later, sins it anyway. Also, that was a Lord of the Flies reference. I'm not letting you off the hook for your 5th pop culture reference in this video.
How would you like to die?
In my own bed, at the age of 80, with a belly full of wine and a girl's mouth around my cock?